Girls, this is a rare treat for a couple of reasons. First one is this is an early morning show, and not many of us get up this early, but hey, we're going to try it out and see what happens because I've got a good friend of mine who decided that he would accept my invitation and join me here on the Ear Mob podcast. Everybody out there in podcast land, please welcome Todd Bates of EVP Explorations. Morning, Todd.
Hey, good morning, Chaz. Great to be here. Thank you so much. That's amazing. My goodness. Happy
Oh,
4th of July to you, my friend.
yes, sir. Happy 4th of July to you, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did this, but we made this work. I mean,
Yeah.
it just past
Fate.
8 a.m. in the morning, and we're making this work. That's a
On
that's a good
on a holiday, 4th of July, we're making this work. And that's the beauty of it. You can't fight fate, man. You just can't fight it. Just
Nope.
go with the flow. That's what
Right. And so, how's your fourth been so far? I mean, you got a cup of coffee. You good to go?
Got the coffee. I'm good to go. I've got so much to do today, but I got a lot done yesterday, so it's been one of those busy, hectic things. But Sherry and I, we're going to go to the fireworks tonight. They're here in town. We're going to try them. If it's not too big of a crowd, the kids with the crowds. Oh my goodness!
I know.
Like sardines, but it's fun. We're going to try and go see those later on tonight.
Where are you located?
Robinson, Illinois.
Robinson, Illinois. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that a smaller town?
Oh, it's itty bitty. Probably 7,000 people.
Oh man,
it's a tiny, beautiful town. I work at the local, I can't say the name, candy factory. Work security for them, but it's a small town, and everybody knows everybody else's business. But that's okay. That's okay. I don't know. I've gotten away from this place 4 times, Chaz, and boom, I always end up back here. I don't know what it is.
Is it one of those towns where you can leave the front door unlocked when you leave the house? Oh yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you'll come back and the house will be clean.
Yeah, see, I was born in Indiana, in a small town in Indiana, not quite that small, I don't think. And I grew up in Vegas. So I went from small town to big town to crazy town now. And I'm not in Vegas right now, but I just accepted a job position and I'm going back for a while. So, I've got to get used to living in that big town and dealing with that traffic again, because right now I live in a smaller town that's growing and it's experiencing the growing pains.
Yeah, that's
so the roads aren't wide enough. There's only one Costco right now, and it's just
can't supply the masses. That's simple.
Right. One Target, growing up in Vegas made me really realize that while this small town is okay, I want something smaller, and I want something small and green. And so my wife and I have been talking about moving to someplace like maybe up farther north, because I'm in southern Utah now.
Okay.
So maybe up farther north, or maybe right into Idaho where it's nice and green and
quiet.
Right. Oh yeah.
The quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Chaz, the quiet of this small town. I mean, this is where it all started for me back in the day. Was this tiny, small schoolhouse? It haunted schoolhouse. I mean, it's crazy how these tiny towns hold so much rich history. Where I'm 7 miles from the oldest town in Illinois, called Palestine. There's just so much history around here. And it's one of those things where if you're not looking, you'll pass right by it. But there's a lot going on, but yet it's quiet. We live outside of town, so that's even a little quieter. It's not bad.
I mean, you're living the life, man.
Yeah.
And people don't appreciate what that has to offer.
I enjoy the quiet. I do. When there's quiet time, when I'm not busy and I'm relaxing, you can actually relax here. You don't have the stress. You don't have the hustle and bustle. You have rush hours at lunch, but that's just because everybody goes to lunch at the same time.
Right.
But it's a beautiful place, and it was that was the Kickstarter. It was the catalyst of this whole paranormal journey of mine. The whole thing, because I was skeptical of all this stuff back in the day. So skeptical. I didn't believe in any of it. And well, life on other planets, of course. I always had that hunch. But it was a small town called Annapolis, Illinois, where there was a little Quaker schoolhouse. And this is when I first started years ago. And we asked around who owned the property. And a man, they said, Scott owns that. He lives up there on the hill. So we go up there and talk to him. Of course, this guy's a skeptic. And, to make a long story short with how I got into the whole thing, this is just one of the investigations we went to several times, one of the places we visited. But we got permission from Scott. We went in there and talked to him, and he was a skeptic as well. Oh, you're going to go down there and see if there's any ghosts in that little schoolhouse, huh? Yeah, you go right ahead and you go find those ghosts. You bring them back here. You bring them right back here to me. Oh, and he puts his oxygen mask back on, as he's smoking his cigar.
Oh, geez.
One of those guys, and just a good old boy. And so he gave us full access to that little schoolhouse. Now, I learned so many things about electronic voice phenomena, about the spirit world, period, from that little schoolhouse. It was a little one room. It was a Quaker schoolhouse, so it was a very quiet, very strict kind of environment. And we captured so much evidence there from small children. There was a gentleman that one of my favorite EVPs. It's on the website, of course. It's called Come Back, and it's as we were leaving. I captured that. Of course, I didn't hear it till we got home. Those that don't know what EVP is, it's delayed. It's not real time like the modern ITC gadgets everybody's using now. I'm still old school. I've got my cassette recorder. I've got my digital recorder. I'm out there. Sherry and I frequent a few places around here. We just completed Ashmore Estates investigation up there. We had some hellacious activity going on there, Chaz. It was insane. A water bottle kept flying off the chair. And the first ever experience I've had with what was called an apportation, and where basically something appears out of nowhere. There was a dowsing rod missing that Sherry had lost. We had visited a cemetery, and she had lost one of the dowsing rods. So we're setting up for the second live of the day, and I'm live. I think I was live at the time, and she goes, "Oh my goodness!" And she on the floor was a dowsing rod laying there by the same chair that the water bottle kept flying off of at Ashmore. And it just, and we've been around the chair all day. No one noticed it. And then I had I did a filming of the Estes method, and it got that angle. It wasn't there.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't there until we went back up. Everybody had left. We'd all taken a lunch break, went back up. And lo and behold, there it was. No one even used dowsing rods except Sherry. No one had them except hers. And hers are the ones with swivels and all the fun stuff. This was a standard coat hanger clipped on either end, a homemade one, which is what her other set was. The other one was a pair of coat hangers that she cut down. Those were her rods. That was her thing. And it just appeared, and it was. I think it was an experience more for her,
right?
A person, how you get those personal experiences out in the field sometimes. I think this was very well one of them, because she was crushed that she lost that.
Right.
Devastated, and it's weird how it appeared and how it connected with her. But you can't pick and choose. It just happens. And that was meant for her. That experience was meant for her. That was her first investigation. Very first. And she's at Ashmore Estates. Go big or go home, right?
Oh, of course.
But it was such a profound experience. It was so amazing. And we kept talking about it on the second part of the live we did. It's on the YouTube channel and stuff. You can see the whole event unfold right there. We show the dowsing rod and everything. It was an amazing experience. And it's things like that spiral me and keep me going no matter what in this field. And Lord knows this field has been through hell.
Oh yeah. Just even over the past 15 years. I mean, you had, like Hans Holzer, and you had Ed and Lorraine, and the people that were just kind of doing it. And it wasn't, nobody really knew that this stuff even existed, that people was out there. There was just such a stigma involved with the whole thing. And then you get Jason and Grant on TV, and they were like the originators of the paranormal TV. And it just, it just snowballed from there. And I don't know what show actually caused it to jump the shark per se, but there were a few shows out there that caused it to jump the shark. And now it's just kind of all you really have on TV now is Zach, and everything is demonic with Zach because that's entertainment. And that
sells.
The girls love Zach.
Yeah, it is. And it's more a performance these days than an investigation. And that's what's sad, is the paranormal community is becoming separated by it.
Right.
They're becoming separated to where you're having more enthusiasts now that are dressing like ghosts instead of researching ghosts.
Right.
And out there skipping around with things that one day are going to kick their ass if they don't watch out. There's some people out there doing some very dangerous things. These things, they show no mercy. They are extremely powerful beings. I've encountered several in my time. My goodness, it's holy cow. They just rip the life right out of you. And this generation, they need a foundation. They're running rampant. They need a foundation. They need principles. They need ethics, for crying out loud. There's so many things missing that have been lost somehow over the past couple decades. Definitely. The past 20 years has changed. It's night and day. I remember, like you said, when this was taboo, you didn't talk about this stuff publicly. Are you kidding me? No way. They come and give you a free jacket and take you off in a white van. That's exactly what would happen.
Right.
They think you're nuts. But it is now so wide open that you don't know what to believe. You don't know what to not believe. It's confusing, and it's confusing the world on what a paranormal investigation actually is.
Well, and one of the things is the fact that they see it on TV, and it's almost as if they get the perception, the common public that doesn't do this or wants to do it but hasn't done it gets a perception that something happens every single time you go on an investigation. Or you're going to get evidence every single time you go on an investigation, or they see somebody provoking and somebody make a noise. I command you to make a noise. I'm not commanding anybody to do anything. I'm asking politely.
Absolutely.
Right. Because you got to realize that the spirits that you're trying to make contact with were probably, the majority of them, not all of them, but the majority of them were people at one point.
Sure.
Right. So, and a lot of them might not even realize that they're where they're at, wherever that might be. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just seeing these weird people come tramping through their house or wherever their business, asking stupid questions. And they're like,
what the hell is this?
What am I, a dancing monkey?
Get out of here.
Right. I gotta work for you. You're commanding me to do stuff. Who the hell are you? You're in my house. So, that's a perception that people get, is that they can just walk in somewhere and something's going to happen. And they don't see, Jason and Grant used to show it, where they'd show their team going through some of the evidence. But what those people didn't see, they only saw like 2 minutes of that on an episode. What they don't see is the fact that if you're investigating someplace and you've got multiple recorders running for 8 hours, 10 hours, you've got to go back and listen to all that and watch all of that.
Not
And
just 4 hours of it, all 8 hours.
And you know just as well as I do that is such a drag 90% of the time. I mean, there's no way that I have the hardest time sitting there for a half hour. Like I try to break it up into half-hour chunks, and I have the hardest time sitting there for a half hour because I want to do something else while I'm doing it.
You just made me think really hard, Chaz. If I had a dime for every hour of background static and white noise that I've listened, I would be a bajillionaire.
Right.
That's insane. The time we put into this, because you can't, I don't anyway, and I still do it to this day. I'm an old stubborn creature of habit. I still upload my recordings in real time. I will still connect it through a line-in port. Right. And I will upload it in real time through Adobe Audition or WavePad or what have you. And it's not because that's the way to do it. It's because that's how I was taught to do it.
Right.
And like I said, I'm a creature of habit. But I've used the USB method in the past where you upload it, you plug it into the back, whatever. My fear of that, and this could be just that, is losing information through the transfer.
Right.
How, I want to get that signal from one device to the computer the most raw form I can. The less I interfere with that recording, the better. I'm not doing this to get in there and beat the hell out of it in audition and make it sound like some kind of demon growl. That's not the point. The point is less is more with it. You use Audition not to necessarily clean the file. You're enhancing it. You're simply enhancing it by using certain filters. And thankfully, with broadcasting school, Audition was what we use for everything. So I learned quite a bit about it and what it can do, what it's capable of. And with the capture, you just and the upload, you just want it in the rawest form. You want to keep it in a waveform as long as you can before you compress it to an MP3, because you may discover something else down if you listen to it. I'm not saying go over all of your evidence at once. That's take breaks, take frequent breaks away from it, because pareidolia will set in. If you're sitting there, it as well as I do, Chaz. You're sitting there and you're going to start hearing things all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So you do it in 5-10 minute blocks and know what to look for. And I've written the free courses over there on the website. They teach you how to go through the software, how to step by step, how to do it. It's free of charge, folks. You don't even need to register. You just go over there and hit start and you're off. And it teaches you how to properly upload, how to properly analyze them with the software as well and save them. And most importantly, share them. I think it's really important to share. And I think that's gone to the wayside, Chaz.
Yep.
People just aren't doing it anymore because they're afraid. And damn it, I don't blame them. But we've got to start. We've got to start doing it again, because we're starting to make certain breakthroughs with certain things. The ITC world, with what the Rathmans are doing and Ron and Lourdes, what they're doing out there. They're doing some amazing things with communication. Nothing short of amazing has happened with electronic voice phenomenon in probably 15, 20, 30 years. Right. It's kind of a dead stick right now, but it's still very effective, I think. I mean, I'm sure you would agree. There has to be some way. Sure, you're going to get less EVP using a cassette recorder, for example, than you would using a digital, but they're going to be more clear. They're going to be more pronounced, more robust than you would get on a digital recorder. Completely different, night and day, if you ask me, especially if you're using headphones, which you should be, folks.
Right.
But using that in conjunction with very little equipment is needed for the entire process. It's a very basic principle. I think the entire thing, Chaz, I think this whole thing, this whole chase, this entire process, this entire answer we've been chasing all these years, I think it's so simple, and we're doing nothing but complicating it even more. I think it's natural, and I think it's simple.
Well, that brings up a couple of questions. We're sitting here talking about EVPs, and some people may not even know what an EVP is. So give us the answer on that real quick. And then I want to bring up a question about equipment, because I haven't thought about equipment. So go ahead and throw the EVP definition at it, then we'll go over it.
EVP, electronic, it's short for electronic voice phenomenon. What that is, it is a disembodied voice captured on a recording device, such as a digital recorder, cassette recorder, reel-to-reel recorder, your phone. That is an EVP. The way they're captured is, of course, unknown. Some people think it's static energy. Some people think it's magnetic energy. Some people feel even there's some telepathy going on there. The spirit works through us to imprint themselves onto the thing. There's so many different theories out there about electronic voice phenomena, but it's not something that you want to take lightly. It's not something you just want to hop out of your chair and start doing. You want to educate yourself. You definitely want to educate yourself before you get out there, because you're opening yourself up to so many things with EVP. And the process, you are completely open. It's in my opinion, it's no different than a Ouija, using a Ouija or any other communication tool. You are opening yourself for spirit to come into this realm and make themselves known. You're asking for it, so expect it. Always expect it, because that's when it's going to happen. When you don't, I promise every time. It's right. Oh wow. But electronic voice phenomena is extremely simple. It can be very addicting as well, folks. It's very daunting. It's something you need to train your ears for as well. And like I said, I offer so many free courses on electronic voice phenomena, 101, 102, and 103 courses over there at evpexplorations.com. They're free of charge. Teaches you the entire process. A lot of people, Chaz, they watch the show and they're just getting into this. This is their second week, one of them. And it's amazing watching someone come into this field that is intent enough and headstrong enough to educate themselves. And they use those courses and they're building foundations off what they learn. And they're applying and unlearning out there. That's what it's about. We need that foundation back. We need that structure back. EVP is a way to bring that back. It really is, because the methods are so old and so true. If it isn't broke, don't fix it.
Right. And so that brings up my thing on equipment. You brought up that you use a cassette recorder, right? Little noisier, but one of the theories on that is the noise helps generate EVPs, helps them they can use that noise to generate EVPs and create EVPs. There's a digital recorder that you're talking about. I use predominantly digital. I don't own a cassette recorder. You make me want to go get one.
They're fun. I promise you, Chaz, they're fun.
So
they're expensive, but they're fun.
Yeah, they're hard to find now. Even the blank cassettes are hard to find these days.
Yeah.
So with equipment, I've kind of gone through this evolution with equipment. It kind of circles back. It comes full circle. Originally, when I started doing this back in 2008, I had a night vision video camera and a digital recorder. That's all I had. I didn't have a lot of money to get a bunch of equipment. And that's, everybody had like a K2 meter and a digital recorder and a video camera, and that was it.
That's it.
Back in the day. And then now all of a sudden there's these, we had the Shack Hack come out, with the ITC. And then we've had, these portals and these REM pods and all this crazy stuff that's come out now.
I call them zoom zooms and wham whams.
Oh, zoom zooms and wham whams. Okay.
There's so much of it. It's inflated. It's a market. And we can thank television for a lot of this stuff. Now, there are some fantastic, absolutely remarkable builders and engineers out there, like Austin Maynard, for example. The guy's a freaking genius. But there's a market. There's such a huge market for this equipment, and it's big money, and people want to be a part of it. So it's hard because you get into this as a hobby. I'm into this as a hobby. I did this full time for years. It about killed me. So I'm in this for a hobby.
Right
now, it's a hobby, and getting into it is quite simple. You don't need that much equipment. This cassette recorder I have, Sherry picked it up for me in a secondhand store for $15. There you go. And it had 4 high bias cassette tapes with it, the blank. So, you get added bonuses like that sometimes. And you don't have to go out and buy all of these DVR systems. And just understand something, folks. Understand. The most important part of the investigation is the spirit communicating with spirit, period. You're creating more work for yourselves. Okay. I know that it's going to be the greatest thing ever to capture an apparition on a DVR system. It would be absolutely epic. But the odds of that happening, folks, slim to none. You have a better chances of seeing that with these and this. Get away from the cameras. Get the hell out in the field. Go to the corners. Go to wherever you need to go. Don't sit there behind a desk all night and watch a camera. That's not an investigation. Get out there. Get in there. Get dirty. That's how you find the gold you're looking for. That's where the answers are at. You've got to go get them. They're not going to come to you. I mean, if I cross, when I cross over, Chaz, I'm not doing it. Somebody comes and starts asking me a bunch of questions and drilling me. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what we were.
I'm
talking
dead here. Right. Yeah. So it's balance. It's all proper balance. You don't need that much to get started with this stuff. And it's so much fun. It's so rewarding. Sure, there's some work involved, but do the work. That's what's part of it. That's the biggest part of it is the legwork, I think. And that's how you find the gravy, people. You got to work for it. You got to dig to find the gold.
Right. And you don't need all of that equipment, just like you're talking about. You don't need all that equipment. Why go? You don't have to go spend $1,000 on an XLS camera and a bunch of other stuff to get any kind of validation from doing this. All you need to do, you can go buy a digital recorder for $15.
Yeah.
And do this. I mean, and think about it, because I've come to this realization too, that when I would go to an investigation, I spend the first half hour worried about all the gear rather than just getting in there and investigate. I'm worried about, is the camera in the right angle?
Yep.
Is it going to capture this? I've got to get that XLS camera put together. I've got to do this. EMF.
And what does that do to your mind during the investigation? What does that do to your mind, Chaz? That makes it go bonkers when you're supposed to be at your most open moment. Open. Don't sit there and think DVR, REM pod, cat balls. No. Keep your mind open. You just need your senses to do this. You really do. You go with your gut on a lot of this stuff. You get the heebie-jeebies, something's up.
Right.
You get a bad feeling, something's up.
Right.
Follow your gut. It's going to lead you where you need to go every single time. I mean, it's going to lead you to some places you'll never return to again as well. So use common sense and most of all, use respect. I mean, for the everything out there.
Respect is such a big part of it. And there were certain shows that showed that on TV, and there were other shows that didn't really show respect in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think those guys have come out publicly and said that, hey, they did get their ass handed to them quite a few times because of that, whether it be yanked out of bed or shoved or just bad mojo going on in their life.
You get back what you put out.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. I mean, you can go somewhere, be disrespectful, and there's nothing you can say, hey, you're not allowed to follow me home.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it has to listen to.
Right. They have a mind of their own. I think they have something, we have that awesome free will. I think they have something beyond that. They have like the ultimate choice, because I think when you become energy such as that, I think you're so in tune with everything around you that you know what's going to happen before it happens. So the spirit is always going to be ahead of you every single time, step ahead. You're going to need that corner of your eye. You're going to need that peripheral vision, folks, because that's where most things are going to happen in the field, is in the corners. When you focus, it's gone. It's an amazing experience, and a lot of them are personal experiences. So, if you're out there just getting started, don't beat yourself up. Don't give up. Keep chugging along. Keep logging your data. Log what you're doing. If it's not working for you, change it up. Again, there's a course in there on document writing on how to do just that over there on the website, right there for you. There's no excuses anymore. So tired of the excuses, Chaz.
Oh, I know.
People want to get into this field, but they don't want to do the work properly.
Oh no, they do not.
They've got to go. If there's an enthusiast that a hunter, if you will, that goes out and does these investigations for the thrill, for the adrenaline rush, as a hobby. Now, I also do it as a hobby. However, I research, I investigate, I collaborate with others. I am over the thrill of it all, and want to know why and how. Simply why and how. And that's where I'm at in my paranormal journey, is the how and why phase. Everything else has convinced me there's something out there. There is something after we cross. I have no doubt. I've seen it. I've heard it. It is incredible. Whatever it is, I'd like to have some info, some intel before,
right,
and to kind of have that little edge.
Right. I think everybody wants that. That's like the ultimate question.
Yeah.
What goes on after we leave this plane of existence? What goes on afterwards? And you and I have been doing this, so we know that there's actually something there. We're not quite sure how it operates. It could be very possible that they see us as the ghosts.
Yeah.
And they hear just bits and pieces like we do. And they're sitting there trying to figure out what rules we have to follow. And we're sitting there trying to figure out why, when we ask you to communicate with us, all you can do is make a sound on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
On the wall, and you're sitting here going, well, why is that all you can do? You might be able to make a noise on a recorder.
Sure.
But, a lot of times it's just making a noise, a simple noise. That could be anything. It could be just the house shifting, it could be a rat in a wall somewhere. But, that's the question, is what are the rules involved in this? Is that all they're able to do?
I think, me personally, in my opinion, I think they have a set of rules just as we do. See, the difference, we're organic. So we're no different really than this coffee cup. We're organic. They're everything.
Right.
All at once, whatever this is. It is that strong, that powerful, that simple, I think. They're everything. So they can be anywhere, anytime. There is no time. So
Right.
they have that edge. They have that edge. And I feel with them having that edge, we're only supposed to know so much. Our brains can only handle so much. As a defense mechanism, our body would shut itself down. If you and I were sitting here during this show and a ghost appears behind me and just continues to manifest, you and I would probably shut down.
Right.
If it would not leave, if it continued to stay there, if it turned evil or mean or what have you, we would shut down. So I think it's an organics body. We're an organic body, so we're not supposed to see those kinds of things. If we do, we could shut down, heart attack, die. It could cause anything. Seeing an apparition, I've seen two in my life, and my God, both of them were beyond profound experiences, personal experiences. One was, the other was collective. And when that occurs, everything changes from that point forward, because you have proven it to yourself, at least. Okay, there's something going on, because things just don't float around like that. People just don't appear out of thin freaking air.
Right.
So that's where everything becomes complicated and gets more and more complicated. People try to throw quantum physics in the mix, and sure, it may be involved, but damn, everything is science, folks. This is natural science. Simply natural science is what this is. Natural science. I think it's extremely simple, Chaz. I think we're complicating it. I think there's several people out there that are on to some great things as far as communication and crossing those boundaries, making some breakthroughs. Alyssa Beaver is another one. She's amazing at what she does with her recordings. I don't know how it's possible. We coined her a digital medium. Just strange ways to communicate. EVP isn't the only way to communicate with whatever's out there. It's not the only way, but it's, for me, it's the most credible. It's the most validated, proven way to communicate with the other side safely and successfully. And I know with magnetic tapes and so forth being scarce that it's difficult, it's expensive, but it depends on how far you want to go on your journey, folks. If you're willing to drop $20 for 5 cassette tapes and use one side of them only, which is what you should do, only use one side. If you want to take that time and that money, I promise you it'll be worth the effort. Out of one of those 5 tapes, you'll find your gold. That I can pretty much promise you, if you do it properly, if you do it correctly, respectfully, and use your head. You should have no problems whatsoever. I preach old school methods. Sarah Estep herself taught me these old school methods. They have stuck in my head, and they have worked for me all these years. So, like I said before, I'm a creature of habit. So I'm going to continue to do what works for me, because I think that that's what I'm in tune with. That's what I align with, so to speak. Is you can't go into a brand new location and expect immediate results, because they're going to be sitting there staring at you, wondering, what the hell are you doing here? Give them a minute. Just do your thing for a while. Do some base readings, do something, document something. Just soak up and absorb the environment first. Use your senses. Don't use a cat ball, damn it. Use your senses when you're in these places. You're going to discover more. You're going to find out they're talking to you in other ways. You know, they may not be able to use their voice, Chaz, but they can right there on the wall.
Right.
Listen for those things, the littlest, tiniest things.
You know, I don't get the opportunity to do this every time I investigate somewhere, but if I get the opportunity and have the time to do it, I will just take a chair and sit down. And if it's like, for instance, we did the Goldfield Hotel in Goldfield, Nevada, and I wished I had the time to do this, but we only had a limited amount of time, and that place is so massive, so you're just trying to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I wanted to go in there and just sit in the middle of the lobby in a chair and just listen for an hour and see if I could hear things going on, and that would have helped guide me to certain spots in that hotel. When that entire hotel is active.
Yeah.
I mean, I had experience. One of the experiences there, I'll be truthfully honest, I never had before, and it scared the hell out of me. It didn't scare me, just startled me.
Yeah.
And that was, I was walking up towards the first floor, and I had my old Shack Hack radio going, and it's sweeping. And I had my video camera, and I have this on video, so I'll send you the clip. I
want to see this.
So I'm walking, and the radio's just cycling through, and I get about 4 steps before I reach the landing of the first floor, and the radio says, "Wait." So I stop, and then I hear footsteps I'm staring up at the landing, and I hear footsteps coming from the left of me down that hallway, like running, like boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, and you see the video, I handled it the completely wrong way. Whoa! And
what can you do at that point?
And I ran back down the stairs. I'm like, holy sh, you know. And I didn't even notice at the time until I reviewed the footage that the radio says ghost step.
Oh, wicked.
And I had never had that experience before. It wasn't an EVP experience. It was footsteps of something running towards me.
Sure.
And the floors were all wood, so it was loud. And it just blew my mind. And for me, I was like, all right, I'm the tough guy. I'm going to go clear through this hotel. I'm going to go up on the 4th floor as high as you can go and sit there by myself. And after that, I'm like, hey, would somebody like coming up with me? Because I have something going on.
I'm a little skittish.
Right. And I went through the rest of the night not thinking that anything else happened. Like, it was kind of quiet. And then as I went back and reviewed some of the footage, I did capture some what I can perceive as whistling, almost as if something was whistling as it was coming down the hallway at my camera, that was just set up static. And then there was another point, and this, I'm going to bring this up, an app, an ITC app on a phone.
Okay.
I go back and forth, like,
sure.
We'll get into that. But I'm down at the end of the hallway, and some friends of mine are using an application. I think it's called Spirit Talkers. I don't know exactly what it's called. And I'm down at the end of the hallway, and I've got my camera, and I have this on camera too. I turn around and I go, hey, that's just me making noise. I'm going to walk back down towards you guys. That's me coming towards you guys because it's dark.
Mm-hmm.
And the Spirit Talker app says Charles. And my name's, that's my name, but I go by Chaz. Right. And it says plain as day, Charles. And I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't notice it at the time it happened until I'm reviewing the footage. And I'm thinking to myself, when I'm reviewing the footage, I'm like, there is no possible way in hell it just spits out the word Charles.
No, that's not right.
There's no way that's just a coincidence.
No.
Right?
No, that's a personal experience, just like we were talking about, for sure, Chaz. That was meant for you.
Right.
You know.
And that's coming from an app. And I've used every app you can think of out there.
I played with them.
And you'll get responses that mean absolutely nothing 99% of the time.
Some of the apps, the ITC ones, these ghost apps that are out there, they're word dictionaries, and they just add paranormal based words, keywords in there, folks. So be careful. Use common sense. If you're using one of these apps and you're investigating a client's home, and your app says someone's going to die in the barn tonight, do not read that in front of your client. These are things that common sense will tell you that is crap. Okay. That is not good. Don't use it. Don't use that practice. There are people that do it, and it's so sad. And they're naive. A lot of it is they're just naive, gullible, inexperienced. They don't know. Find a foundation and use it. Get structure before you go out there and investigate. You know that, Chaz. You have to have structure. You have to have order, or there will be chaos.
Oh, and then, real quick.
And then you have the evidence that you failed to document. I mean, that happened to me just recently. I haven't been in the field. That was the first time I was in the field since 2012.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I went to Ashmore. Again, go big or go home.
Right. Hit the ground running.
That is what happened this was Sherry's first investigation, for crying out loud. I should have known better. But when that dowsing robber, we had that apportation experience, I didn't document it. I was doing a live show.
Right.
It was documented on the live show, but I didn't document it. I didn't take photographs of that before it was touched because Sherry was so excited she picked it up. That's just human instinct, human error is going to play that part in the investigation. And you're going to make errors, folks. You're going to make mistakes. There's no right or wrong way, really. There's just a way, because there's no absolutes. And that may piss you off sometimes. So hang in there. Hang in there with that. Because 2 + 2 is, for some reason, always going to equal 4. Right. So that's the only absolute you have. But the beginning of it, the start, if you're just getting into this, hang in there with it. Learn, educate yourself. There's plenty of resources out there, tons of them. Use them, plenty of books. Hans Holzer's a great example. His books. That's what answered so many of my questions back in the day. And you can get a lot of these things for free online, for crying out loud now. But the information's out there. Use it. Don't just go out there and, okay, I've got my recorder, I've got my headphones, I'm gone. No, you're not. No. Sit down, read a book, educate yourself. You'll get better results. You'll learn how to process your results. Your evidence will just thank you for it. And Lord knows I will thank you for it. And the community will thank you for it. So use your head.
Well, and you brought up resources out there free and online. I mean, your website is just, I started reading through the courses and doing everything. And even though I've been doing this for years, and this goes to everybody that's been doing this for years, you can always learn something
every day.
And your website, there is something for everybody on your website. Even if you're not just into EVPs, you can apply everything that you apply on your website towards EVPs. You can apply towards other things. You just have to shift it a little bit, but you can apply it towards other things. Your website is a great resource, and people, it's free.
Yeah.
But if you have the ability to help Todd out, donate a little bit. I mean, that website's not free to sit there on the website or on the internet for him. He's got hosting costs. There's costs involved in him providing that information to you for free. It's not free to him.
Yeah.
Good. Think about it this way. Sacrifice 1 cup of Starbucks coffee a week and donate that money to Todd to keep that website going. Because if that website goes away, all of that information goes away, and you don't have that information to provide you with the proper foundation for doing the investigations and the paranormal footwork, mumble mouth,
Yeah.
paranormal footwork that you want to do. If you're serious about this, we've all got to stick together and we've all got to help each other out. So donate that money that you would have spent on a $7 Frappuccino. Give that to Todd so that he can cover his hosting fees on that website, and he can keep that that name for that website, and it doesn't go away. And he can keep doing his live streams, and he can keep providing you with that information. That is a big deal.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It is.
And I built that. That is, if those that have known me all these years and have known of me from my former show called Haunted Voices, which ran from 2006 until just here recently we put that show to bed. EVP Explorations is a birth child of that. It is what Haunted Voices should have been and what it steered away from. So what I did is rebooted. It is a movement, if you will. EVP Explorations is a movement. It's a community. It is a group of people that show interest. I don't care who you are, what you are. If you show an interest and you want to communicate with those that have crossed, EVPexplorations.com is a place to start to learn how to do just that and how to do that properly. Sure, there's fun things on there as well that you can do too. But the website itself is built around the courses. The courses are built around the website. They're married to each other. They go hand in hand. They'll go everywhere together. They are free of charge. No registration needed. You don't have to drop your email. Nothing. Go in there, get the information, copy and paste it, whatever you want to absorb it. Take it, use it, apply it. You're going to get better results. You'll be much better in the field. That I can promise you. And, go through the site, read our mission statements, read what we're about, read what it is. It's not just a podcast. It's not just a show. Like I said, it is a movement. It is a way to bring EVP back to life again, because it's a dying art. And it is that, an art. It's a dying art. This EVP Explorations has helped shedding some light on it, giving it some light, giving it the spotlight it deserves. And, I thank you so much for asking that. We do need the help, and there are costs involved in things, folks. But I'm one old stubborn son of a bitch, and I will find a way to keep that thing afloat. I kept Haunted Voices afloat for 24 years. So I think we can get through this, folks. And we do it as a community. And I've seen this community come together time and time again, Chaz. I've seen it happen. I know you have too. The community is there. We're just a little astray right now. But we're going to come back together here soon. Something profound is going to happen, and we're going to have no other choice but to come together and collaborate. Something's up.
It's almost as if you can feel that there's something brewing right now. It's almost like in the Ghostbusters movie where that energy is just building.
Yeah, it's just churning.
Right. Yep. It's just churning and it's building. And I mean, with TV, everybody feels like they've seen it all at this point. And they're so overwhelmed with all the gadgetry and the blinking lights and
yeah,
nobody realizes that you can do EVP anywhere at any time,
night or day.
You don't have to be somewhere where it's reportedly haunted. There's a reason why way back in the early days when they're creating these recordings, they're capturing these voices on these recordings and they don't know where they're coming from. And the equipment was so primitive back way back in the 30s and 40s when they're, they're just starting to record things and they're capturing voices. It's there. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
And EVPs, to me, it just takes persistence. Like you said, it doesn't really matter the equipment you use. You just have to do it.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
And, with all the crazy equipment, you don't need to go
it's a
spend
distraction.
$1,000. Right.
It's a distraction. Any way you slice it, it's a distraction in the field, in my opinion.
Right. There's something to be said for a cassette recorder like you use, where you hit that play button and hit that record button and you're done. Right?
Yeah. I'm going to take 2 seconds. Hang on.
You got it.
Whoops.
Oh, geez.
Whoops. No. But there it is. That's a cassette recorder.
Right.
Okay. Those of you that are a younger crowd that have never seen one.
Right.
That's what it is. And it is a dinosaur, folks. That thing probably weighs 15 pounds. But you know what? It's captured some of the most amazing voices I've ever heard. It is incredible how it's done. And it is an art. It does take training. It does take experience. You have to develop the sense of hearing because you have to learn to tune out what is in the back as well as listen to what's in the back at the same time. You can do it. It just takes a little work, a little bit of training, a little bit of practice. But I'm telling you, fire up a cassette recorder, a micro cassette recorder. The little ones, those are fun too. They record completely differently. The spirit sounds even more different. A lot of times more pronounced on the micro cassette over the standard cassette. But give them a shot. You can find your cassette tapes on Amazon, secondhand stores. Go to Goodwill's, folks. People are dumping them like, what's this? They don't want it. They'll dump it. And they're great recorders, brand new. Like I said, there was a pack of 4 high bias tapes. Those things are $20 a piece these days. You got to give it a shot. In this field, if you are really searching for those answers, you want that gold, you want that EVP, you've got to go get it. It's not going to come to you. Go get it. Get a recorder. Go out there and get it. Get a hold of me. I'll teach you how to get it on your computer. We will get through it. I don't care if I've got to come into your computer remotely. We will get that thing on there. And it will be transferred. You will be able to analyze it. If you have any questions or anything, my goodness, reach out. Reach out to me. I answer everybody as quick as I can. My schedule's a little nutty. No pun intended with the job.
Right.
But with the day job. But it's a labor of love, and I enjoy helping people. To me, it's about the people. This education should be free of charge for everyone.
Oh, it is free of charge.
Right.
Oh yeah. On Todd's website, it is free of charge, people. Free of charge. All we ask is if you can throw $1 or $2 his way just to cover it so it continues to be free of charge.
Or share it. Share it.
Exactly.
Just share it. Because I know, trust me, folks, I feel the crunch right there with you. I feel it. And it's a bump in the road. I'm working on a few solutions to end it all. But those take time. But we do have 30 days. And 30 days is a long time to get a lot done. We can get a lot done in 30 days. People like yourself, Chaz, helping out. We can get a lot done in 30 days. I've seen this community come together for something they really want, something they really need to have. It's a matter of seeing the value in it. And if you go to evpexplorations.com, folks, you'll see the value in it. I pour my heart out on that site, keeping it up to date, keeping it filled with content for you, fresh content. That stuff's not easy to write up. That stuff's not easy to install. But again, it's a labor of love. It's fun for me. And it's important that you guys take full advantage of it. Please take full advantage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And again, I think EVP is the easiest way to get into this.
Mm-hmm.
It is hands down the easiest way and the most cost effective way of getting into it because it doesn't take much to do it.
Hands down.
And I mean, you're literally buying a recorder and some decent headphones. Now, these headphones are drummer's headphones because I'm a musician, so they fit completely over my ears to protect my hearing when I'm playing, and they're good for EVP as well because they block out everything.
Those are exceptional for EVP work.
Right. They're not noise canceling.
Sure.
But they're good for doing the EVP stuff and listening back. So over the years, I've probably skipped over a lot of EVP stuff just because it was like a faint whisper. It was really hard to understand what was being said, and I wasn't sure if it was somebody whispering that I was with, or it was just a weird noise, somebody shuffling their feet or something. So with your website, you give people the foundation to go, hey, this is what that could be. These are the different levels of what an EVP could be: class A, class B, class C, on and so forth. The information's there for you to listen and read and get an example of what you're looking for, because everybody's EVP sound completely different.
They do, sir. Yes, they do. And everything up there, I want to throw this in there real quick. This here, this is a study guide that I wrote in 2004. What I'm holding are your courses, folks. It's been modernized, updated. There's something. EVP 101, 102, 103, Paranormal 101, 102, 103, dowsing rod courses, how to properly use a Ouija board course. Everything you need to communicate properly, safely, and respectfully is there for free. You hit a button. Yes, you have to read, folks. Okay. Now, in the future courses, I will be doing video courses. At this time, I literally just don't have the time, or they would be video courses, but they are text-based, but they're challenging. And even if you're the most seasoned investigator, you're going to have a lot of aha moments. I enjoyed putting those together. I sat and still sit. I have 3 other courses in the works coming up, and putting them together, I have to sit back and think of how many times I screwed up and what I screwed up, so I can put that in there and note it as a bullet point. This is a screw up. What not to do. So learn from my mistakes, from anybody's mistakes that has any kind of experience out there. Learn from those things. Don't repeat them. Learn from them. It's a great place to just dive in. To give you an example real quick, the statistics I was looking at the other day, and I shared it with Sherry. I did. I cried on air during a show. There were the average visit there, the average time they stay is over 2 hours. So they're in there studying, reading, doing their thing. They may not say a word. They may never say a word. They may never say thank you. It doesn't matter. You take that information. You take full advantage of it. That's out of my noggin, out of my experience, out of my screw-ups. You take that information. You learn from it. Get out there and find out if there is truly life after death. Answer that question, folks. It's the only way to do it.
Right. And I guarantee, even those of us that have been doing this for years, such as yourself and myself, I guarantee every time we walk away from an investigation, one of the things that's popping in our mind was, man, I wish I would have done something different. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that, but I was too preoccupied with the cat balls and
coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Right.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Your website addresses that. Your website gives the foundation to where you can walk away from that investigation and you covered everything that you wanted to cover, and you walk away going, man, I was able to try a few things that I came up with on the spot because I had everything else covered, because then it was just so ingrained in my brain during the investigation.
Yeah.
And your website helps with that. I guarantee it doesn't matter if you want to get into investigating the paranormal, want to get into EVP research, or have been doing it for years. There's something to take away from your website.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And curious if if you're skeptical, um, I'm an open book. I hold nothing back. The best EVP captures I have are up there on the website. I put them out there for the world to hear, analyze, judge, and they do, and that's okay. That's what it's all about. It's what it's all about. So don't be afraid to share, folks. Don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to take that step. If you're sitting there thinking, is there life after death? Then you are in the right place. Get educated and go find out. Not too quickly. Go find out.
Right. You're exactly right. And it's funny that thinking back over all the years, I just remember being so bummed out because I just didn't feel like I was capturing anything.
Yeah.
And I still have a lot of recordings from back in the day, and I've listened to them once back then. Maybe I wasn't prepared to find anything on them back then, and maybe now I should go back and listen to them again
with experienced ears.
Right, with experienced ears and a fresh set of ears. Even though I'm a musician, my ears tend to be shot. But with a fresh perspective on everything. There's years between when I recorded them and when I've listened to them, because I listened to them right after I recorded them and then put them on a hard drive, and they stayed there since. So now going back and listening to them, I have no clue what's on there.
Nope, you've completely forgotten. It's out of your memory at this point.
I have no idea. So going back with a fresh set of ears, I may come up with something, and then it's like, you know what? I had no reason to be bummed out back then because there's actually something there.
Yeah.
A prime example, I'll give you another example here. I played a corporate gig on the Queen Mary. So we got to spend 3 days on the Queen Mary.
Nice.
And the second night we played the corporate event, and then my wife tipped one of the security guards to let us go down into the first class pool where Jackie, you got Peter, James, and Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
And we were down there for like a half hour, and I don't remember getting anything down there. I don't remember hearing Jackie. Don't remember anything. A year ago, I decided to watch that stuff again. I'm like, I'm going to create a little YouTube video of our night and put it up. And I heard Jackie's voice on the video recording twice.
Bingo.
And I can't understand what she's saying, but it is that same exact little girl's voice that Peter James used to capture. Now, 2 weeks ago, I went back to watch it again just because I'm like, I got to get this thing finished. So I started watching it again. I found her voice a third time.
Yeah.
It's like a syllable. I don't know what she's saying, but it's there.
You recognize the frequency. It's hit.
Right.
It's that is experience. That is training. Right. That is your trained ear. You know exactly what that is. And then you go back and revisit these old cases, folks, that you'll do a lot of client investigations, and sometimes you have to tell them nothing, and then all of a sudden a new piece of technology comes out, and now you may be able to hear this differently. Replay those old cases, replay that old evidence, and you can open up all kinds of new doors. Just like you said, your mind forgets about this stuff after, that's why timestamps are important whenever you're doing sessions, But if you find yourself frustrated, if you find yourself beating your head against a brick wall, like I have many, many, many times, and Chaz, I'm sure both of our heads have been beating walls. You've got to take a break, folks. There was several times where I disappear. I went out into so many dark places. I had to disappear and find myself again because I was so enthralled, so involved, so obsessed. I wouldn't stop. It's all I did constantly. I had to find myself. Take a hiatus, take a break. Don't absorb it all at once. Take a bite, chew it very well, very, very well, then swallow it. Don't eat too quickly. Don't eat this stuff too quickly because you won't retain it. You won't retain it, and you'll be out there. You'll be out there just not having a good time. You'll get a horrible experience, and then you'll think bad of the community, and then that's how the drama begins. That's how all this stuff starts. The trick behind it in this community, there is a bejesus amount of drama, huge, but it's a choice on whether or not you get involved. If it's something you believe in, something that you know this person, you stand up for what they say, stand by them by all means. But for the love of Pete, don't spread it. Don't go to these cons to get the latest drama on who's cheating on who and so forth. These conferences were developed to collaborate, folks. And yeah, sell t-shirts and stuff. Sure, that's the fun stuff. But they're to collaborate, share evidence. It's the whole point. It's not about followers and film crews. It's not about that.
Right.
It's about life after death. And is it there? Is it there? You got to chase it. You've got to chase it. I'm going to chase it until the end. I mean, I'm not stopping. I'm too stubborn. I'm too set in my ways now. I have to find out. Even if it takes death for me to find out, one of these days I'm going to find out, Jazz.
We're all gonna, that's the inevitable. We're all going to find out at one point.
And when I get there, sir, mark my words, I am going to find a way, fight tooth and nail to get through. And if we haven't gotten through at that point, I'm going to figure this out. I have to figure this out because I've been spending such a large portion of my life chasing it. It's been exhausting, but so rewarding and enjoyable.
Right.
I highly recommend it.
Right. Well, dude, we've gone an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we both have very, very busy days ahead of us. But I can't thank you enough for coming on.
My pleasure.
Your website and what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish with it and everything it's a noble thing you're doing. It's something that everybody should take heed of and recognize the fact that you're putting this information out there again for free. And the only thing you're wanting to gain from this, it's 9 times out of 10, they're never going to be any type of financial windfall.
I want your answers, folks. I want your answers.
Exactly.
I want your answers.
Because when you're talking collaboration and when you get people send you what they perceive to be EVPs and you can listen to it and you go, wow, how did you capture this? What did you use to capture it? They give you that information that helps you. And then when you analyze it and provide them with information back, that helps them. So what is that doing? That's helping everybody to elevate this and take it to the next level and get it back where it should be. Because like I said before, EVP and using an audio recorder and a good set of headphones, that's probably the cheapest way to get into this.
Yeah, really is.
It's you don't get the instant gratification like some of the other things like the cat balls and the REM pods and stuff like that. But what you get is tangible proof that there's something there. Anything can manipulate that REM pod and make it go off. It doesn't necessarily be a ghost.
Yeah.
But when you sit there and you listen back to your audio recordings and you get something that could be just residual. That's something that, it's just the energy is trapped there and it just keeps repeating over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're asking a question and get a direct response, that's like the ultimate.
Intelligence is the way to go. That is what you want. That is what you are looking for. That is your goal, is an intelligent response to your question. That proves intelligence. That proves life beyond the organic self.
And when you get that right, and when you get that on an EVP, that is just at that point, you're pumped and you're fired up and you're just like, man, I want to do this more.
Instant motivation.
It's, it's like being a musician and you play that gig and you're playing that song and you're just caught up in the moment and something happens while the band's just firing on all cylinders and you walk away from that song going, oh my God, that's the best we've ever played that song. Something happened. I can't explain during that. We need to do this more.
Yes.
We need to get back up there. The crowd's going crazy. We need to get back up there for that encore. We need to do this again. And if you do this and you follow Todd's protocols, and again, Todd, your protocols are not the be all end all.
No, sir.
They're the starting point. Take them and run with them.
Yep. They are your basics. There's some advanced things in there. Some of those courses they run pretty deep rabbit holes, but most of them, they're basics. They're just your basics, folks, your essentials.
Right. So again, what's the website, Todd?
EVPexplorations.com. EVPexplorations.com.
EVPexplorations.com. Again, it's free to read everything on there. Read it.
Yeah.
Share it. Tell everybody. If you have a team and you're serious about investigating, send every member of your team to Todd's website.
We've had teams come through there and take those courses. It is beyond humbling, Chaz, beyond humbling to have teams go in there and use that information to get out there in this field, in the thick of it all, and unlearn it. That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
Right. And you're going to get that email that says, hey, Todd, we took your course, or we read through your courses, and my team went out there, and we have to tell you that investigation, we were on fire. We were just a well-oiled machine.
Yeah,
after we pulled this information from your website, and we were a well-oiled machine, and everybody was firing on all cylinders, and everybody was focused, and
in unison.
We were able to provide the answers to the client, and we were able to come away with evidence, and
we knew how to document it. We knew how to open the investigation and close it. Everything is in there from start to finish, folks. Everything is in there from start to finish. Yes, if there is an end.
Right. Right. And you also do your podcast on Thursday nights at 8 p.m.
Yeah, live every Thursday night, EVP Explorations. So it's just a live show. It goes through on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Of course, most people just watch it from the website too. You can watch it live from there. And that's every Thursday night. We've got guests lined up until the end of August. We got some amazing guests coming up. Different types of communication on the show that we discuss, all the way from old school classic EVP magnetic tape recording, all the way to communicating with pets using EVP through a cassette recorder.
Right.
There's so many variations, Chaz. So many. And people are being creative these days. And that's a good thing. They're using their heads.
So as far as people contacting you, they can contact you through the website.
Oh, sure. Yeah. You can contact me through the website there. Those emails come directly to me. If you want to email me, Todd Bates at EVPexplorations.com. You can find me on Facebook. Just search Todd Bates. I think it's 1973 for all the profiles. All the other social medias for EVP Explorations. You just Google EVP Explorations. They'll all come up. They'll all be right there for you, folks.
There you go, people. And you do you want people sending you what they've captured? Do you want?
Absolutely. It takes me a while. Now, understand, I do get a lot of people. And they're so patient. God, thank them
Right.
for that. So patient. Yeah. I do enjoy processing, analyzing, going through them, helping people work through their cases. I enjoy that immensely. So please, by all means, email me. If you do email the EVP to me, please email it in a WAV format if you can. If all you can do is MP3, that works just fine as well. But WAV format if you have it, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with it and see what my 2 cents would be out of it. I mean, it's a lot of fun, Chaz.
Right. And you're just like a second opinion on something like that. But the
Mm-hmm.
reason that Todd brought up waveform is when you send a waveform, obviously it's a bigger file, but that just means because there's more information there. An MP3 file is a compressed file, and they get the file size down by throwing information away.
That's correct.
So MP3s are never, no matter what anybody says, going to sound as good as a WAV file.
No.
So keep that in mind. If you really think that you have captured something, get that WAV file. You can even upload it to certain websites and send Todd a link to go there and check them out. That's always, I'm sure, encouraged as well.
Google Drive, wherever you want to put them, WeTransfer, whatever you want to use to get your data. Give me some time. I've got one waiting. There's 6 of them I need to analyze yet for a team, and she has been waiting patiently for about 2 weeks.
Right.
So, I mean, because it takes a while to sit down and you just don't listen to them and go. I analyze them and then give them a nice report back. So it is time consuming, but man, is it fun. Oh, I love it. Love it.
Oh, yeah. All right, Todd. Well, I appreciate the fact that you donated your time to come on with me today and get this out of the way. I know we both have busy schedules today, so doing this in the mornings kind of a, hey, let's get the day going.
The day started with a bang now, Chaz. You just made it awesome. Thank you.
So I am going to, as soon as we get off here, I am going to send you a link to that video that I put up on YouTube from the Goldfield Hotel. So you can kind of take a peek at that. It's only 5 minutes long. Like I said, I think there's some whistling on there, and it starts with the footsteps. So when you'll hear that right out of the gate.
Oh, I can't wait to comment on this one. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. Thank you.
Some good stuff. So my friend, I appreciate it. I'm glad we got to meet today in person, although over the computer, which seems to be how things work now, right?
Yeah.
So I'm glad we got to meet in person. I appreciate you greatly.
Oh, my pleasure.
Again, I encourage everybody to go back to your website, evpexplorations.com. Take the courses on there. It's free. If you can send Todd a few bucks to cover the costs, it doesn't go in his pocket. It just goes right back into the website.
Sure does. Pretty quick.
Doing the podcast and everything. So Todd's kind of the tip of the spear when trying to get this EVP thing going again and showing everybody the potential of EVP and how easy it is to get started with it. So again, Todd, thank you. Happy 4th of July, my friend.
Yes, sir.
And enjoy the fireworks. Spend the day with your wife, rub her feet, whatever you got to do.
Good idea.
Get that going, right? Get that going. Get a little fireworks.
Yeah.
At home, but
hell yeah, that's a great idea.
There you go. So enjoy that cup of coffee. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. I will send you that link, and we will be in touch here real soon.
Sounds great, Chaz.
Hey, maybe we'll get back together again.
Well, you're coming on mine. You're already coming on mine.
Okay.
So you already got the thumbs up.
Hey. And if I knew how to do that, I'd do it.
But I'll do this little thing here. Confetti.
Right. So we'll do that, and we'll swap some EVPs. We'll play some EVPs, and just kind of have some fun with it and give people the opportunity. Again, I know you have some on your website, but give the people the opportunity to hear what other people might capture as well.
Absolutely. There's so many.
All right, my friend. Well, again, thank you. Enjoy your day, sir. And I will talk to you soon.
All right. Take care, Chaz.
All right. Take care, Todd. Have a good day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Todd Bates, you have to go to his website, www.evpexplorations.com. It is a must. Todd is, like I said, he's the tip of the spear when it comes to the EVP analyzation and teaching everybody what it's all about. And even if you're not into EVPs, there's something on his website for everybody in the paranormal community. Speaking of websites, I don't have one. I've got a Facebook page. There is the Ear Mob podcast with Chaz Stumbo Facebook page. I post on there from time to time. Anytime I'm doing a live show or I've uploaded an audio version of the podcast. Sometimes there's audio versions that aren't video versions. Sometimes there's video versions that aren't audio versions. You'll want to keep track of both. I know I'm asking a lot, but hey, I'm a pain in the ass. That's how it works. So, Ear Mob Podcast with Chaz Stumbo on Facebook. On Twitter, we've got just at Ear Mob Podcast on Twitter. Again, Facebook.com. This podcast is also available on Apple Podcast and Spotify and Rumble. I need your help. I need your help, people. If you're watching this podcast and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and then hit that little notification button. So when I post a new episode, your phone or wherever will tell you, hey, Chaz just posted a new episode. So go check it out. All right. On Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, wherever, hit that subscribe button. Please do me a favor. Do that for me. Leave a review. If you think it sucks, that's fine. Leave a review that it sucks. If you think that I'm okay at doing this, that's fine. Leave that review. If you dig what you hear and you want to hear more or want to watch more, let me know. Also, if you come across this and you think you'd be a good guest or you know somebody that would be a good guest, let me know. I'll talk to anybody about anything. It doesn't bother me. I don't like to pigeonhole this podcast because it's my podcast and I like talking about all kinds of things. Music's always fun, easy to talk about. So again, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, hit that like button, whatever button you want to hit it. All right. Until next time, this has been the Ear Mob Podcast. I've been your host, Chaz Stumbo. And today I'm not going to play that outro video. So peace, everybody. Have a good 4th of July. Be safe. Try to hang on to all 10 of your fingers and don't let anything blow up in your face. And for God's sakes, you guys that like to drink on 4th of July, launching a bottle rocket from your buddy's ass crack is probably not a good idea. Don't do that. All right, people. Have a good 4th of July.